Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm starting. Welcome to my first video mock draft. The NFL draft is 1 week, actually 2 weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Not one, but 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today. And I'm excited to present to you what I think is going to be the fastest, and we've already seen that it is, set of NFL draft prospects ever. This group of gentlemen will have a profound impact on pro football for years to come and set the tone for the kind of player that's going to be brought into the draft in the future, the very near future. This draft, I also believe, will feature maybe one or two, no more, quarterbacks going. And it's not that the quarterbacks are so bad, but it's a combination of things. There's not a quarterback in this draft that is a bona fide Heisman Trophy winner, a bona fide national champion, or from a school that was dominant in the field of play from the perspective of a winning record. This is the first draft in a long time. We've had a set of quarterbacks that was that, to put it kindly, not as prolific as the standard NFL first round draft pick quarterback, okay? And so what we're left with is a situation where we have to think about how good Malik Willis is going to be, or a Pickett, or anyone else. And you find yourself literally picking it from the litter regarding the quarterbacks. They are good enough to be effective, but they're not the selections that I would base my team around and expect to, right out of the box, be ready to start. I'm not saying it can't happen. It could, but these gentlemen don't have a body of work which would point to that. If they did, mock draft after mock draft after mock draft after mock draft would have them flying off the boards in the top 10. You know, the usual argument, like, for example, in the mind of many, Mac Jones should have been number one. In the mind of still others, Justin Fields should have been number one. Right? That was last year. But this year, there's not that discussion. But what we do have is this. We have this list of who's going to pick what. And you're going to say, okay, on that note, what am I going to use as my guide this time? Last time it was the Walter Pro Football list. This time I decided to use something a little bit different. Originally, I wanted to use the list from my friend Rick Saratella, NFL Draft Bible, but apparently he sold out the Sports Illustrated, and they have what used to be a public list behind a paywall. So you have to pay to subscribe to it. And Rick normally has his NFL Draft Bible that he would send to me by PDF. But man, Rick Saratella forgot about us little people, if you will, us African-American media owners who have our own companies and all that. He decided that when he was swiped up by big white media, Sports Illustrated, that, hey, he go off and do what he's doing. Don't know. Known Rick a long time, but he just sort of disappeared. So anyway, I thought, hey, I will use this nifty list provided by an organization known as NFLDraftBuzz.com. NFLDraftBuzz.com, which has an interesting list that indicates the kind of change in information that is commonplace in the NFL draft, but also reflects the flow of information and what's going on. They have as number one, let me close this. They have Evan Neal as number one, followed by Aidan Hutchinson, followed by Kavon Thibodeux. All right. And there's their list, okay? Neal, Hutchinson, Thibodeux. Then there's Garrett, Wilson. Even then it just changed, okay? Because Wilson's a wide receiver out of Ohio State. Then Ahmad Gardner, cornerback. Then Derek Stingley. Then George Karloftis. Then Charles Cross at offensive tackle. Then Kyle Hamilton. Then Drake London. Jordan Davis, the DT out of Georgia. And then his teammate, Nakobe Dean. All right. So this is a dramatically different list. They have an offensive tackle, Evan Neal, number one in this position. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go number one. It could happen. It could happen. But it also reflects that on some draft boards, the once mighty Aidan Hutchinson, considered for the Heisman, is starting to fall off a bit. It could be maybe analysis paralysis. Maybe they're looking too closely at him, right? So having said all that, let me go back to my list of NFL draft picks, put that up, and we'll begin without any further ado, as they say. Because I have some now. Do I have a predetermined list of who goes where? I had one for my previous mock drafts, but I'm not going to do that. I'm coming in cold. I'm going to do this differently, okay? And I'm going to treat this differently, and going to try to what I'm trying to do right now is enlarge this. Excuse me. So, and it's Zoom. It says optimal fit width and see 100%. All right, let me try this. I don't know, 150. There we go. Okay, can you see that? That's better, isn't it? And what I'm going to do is, as I pick, I'm going to write them in like this, just the names, not necessarily the colleges, but just the names, just for this, all right? Okay, so without any further ado, here's the start of the mock draft. And not only that, I thought others were going to join me with Zennie62Media, but they're not. And so, hey, that's them. I'm going back to the time I used to just do these things by myself. And if somebody else wanted to join, and they did, but hey, I was happy as a clam, and that's exactly where I'm at. So, oh, by the way, if you don't know, Zennie62Media is credentialed to cover the NFL draft for the 18th straight year. That's right. A generation. All right, so here we go. Jacksonville Jaguars. Who do I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars will take number one? I believe that Doug Peterson is going to come out. I don't think he's going to make any waves here. But I do think I can't see him going, well, maybe he could. But I think, given his bent, that, and this is the reason why this man is number one, I think he's going to take Evan Neal. I think Evan Neal, right here, is supposed to say Evan Neal, so I just write it in. Evan Neal. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will draft Evan Neal as their first-round pick. And that's a reflection of their needed offensive line, Doug Peterson's focus on offense. I know the number of draft boards have something different, but there's a reason why Evan Neal is number one after so many weeks of defenders being number one, right? This Evan Neal is offensive tackle for Alabama. If you're that good, that's saying something. That means that you impressed a lot of people to rank up here. All right, now Detroit Lions, number 2. I believe, all right, that the Lions are going to get, drum roll please, Aidan Hutchinson. That's right, Aidan Hutchinson, the Michigan defensive end, I think will stay home. And, whoops, that keeps doing that. It won't copy paste, so I have to write this at A. Then, did I have that right? Yeah, Aidan. It's more Aidan. And then Hutchinson. Aidan Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan. The run stopper with the Detroit Lions. Now, this draft order looks a little weird here. I think, somehow, yeah, that's what happened here. There we go. All right, that's better. The Houston Texans at number 3. Wow. Well, the Texans are not going for a quarterback. They are rightly sold on Davis Mills. I think they go defense. And I think what they're going to do is take Mr. Kavon Thibodeux. Kavon Thibodeux. That's the man that I believe. Kavon. That's a cool name, isn't it? Kavon. And Thibodeux out of Oregon. Kavon. Let's see if I can get that spelling right. Thibodeux. Yeah, Kavon Thibodeux out of Oregon. They say edge. I prefer defensive end. I'm old-fashioned that way. Oregon. All right. And then we come to the New York Jets. The JTES Jets. This is going to be interesting. The JTES Jets. I almost want to make a special call here. Although it's a little late, so I won't. I think the JTES Jets are going to lean toward defense here. I know there are people who have them pegged to take a wide receiver, and there's Garrett Wilson on the board, but I think that they're going to take Ahmad Gardner, that lanky corner. Ahmad Gardner. I think Ahmad Gardner. And I think he's going to make a big difference for him. I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but and we're live, folks. We're live. So hold on a second. Cincinnati cornerback. Yeah. Cincinnati CB in Cincinnati. There we go. Got that in there. Okay, so there's that. So the Jets get Ahmad, Gardner, cornerback for Cincinnati. The New York Giants are next on the clock. Now, I think this is not going to be a something they're going to think too much about. I think the Giants are going to see Garrett Wilson sitting there, and I think they're going to pass on it. And I think they're going to get – I think they're going to go down a bit. I'm not sold about this list. They're going to get Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. I think Kyle Hamilton has that ability to really set the Giants' defense for the next, I would say, the next 6 years. And he will be a pick that's not, he's not the openly sexy pick that Giants fans might want. But believe me, when he starts ball hawking, the Giants fans are going to be very, very happy. And now we come to the Carolina Panthers. A number of people think that Malik Wilson goes here. I am not one that believes Willis, I'm personally not one that believes Willis goes that high, but he keeps flying off the board at that position, and he's impressed and wowed a lot of people. So guess what? There he goes. QB Liberty. Because it does become, one of those, do you want to be the person, do you want to be the GM that needed Malik Willis, had the opportunity to get Malik Willis, and then passed on him? And that's basically the position the Carolina Panthers are in. Now, there's an entirely other situation where they may see Thibodeux fall to them. I doubt it. Or I could see Neal falling to them and Hutchinson going first. But no, I can't, because if Neal falls, I think that Thibodeux goes to Lions and Neal goes down to the Texans or the Jets, all right? Or maybe we have Jordan Davis from Georgia going here in the top 10. It's getting to that because now we're looking at the New York Giants from Chicago, and I think the Giants are not going to waste time at all building their defense. So what we're looking at in this scenario, in this NFL draft scenario, is a Giants organization that's going to say, you know what? We've got our corner and we got our safety, right? So we're going to get our DT and we're going to, or our DE, and we're going to get George Karloftis. Okay? That as they describe him, freakish athlete, 6'4", 4.47, 40-yard dash, zoomer, okay? George Karloftis. George Karloftis there. And as I look at the info on George, hold on a second, I'm just typing this. George Karloftis he's 6'4", 275. Okay. West Lafayette, Boilermakers. All right. Arizona Cardinals met with him last week. How many sacks does he have? He's got a career total sacks of 36, 25 solo. Tackles, 4.5 sacks is what it reads. And I really think that this guy is going to be a defensive end that can set the edge for you against the run. Okay. And then rush the passer. It's going to be quite exciting out of Purdue. He's a Boilermaker. There we go. Now we come to the Atlanta Falcons at number 8. And to me, this spells wide receiver. Okay? I can see the Falcons going for a wide receiver here. Calvin Ridley had his gambling issues. The only receiver that's really panned out for them has been their tight end, the rookie tight end. And I can see the Falcons thinking in that direction. But here's the thing, all right? Given the enormous wealth of Georgia players, on top of the fact that they're all still on the board, the Atlanta Falcons has the roster of Georgia players available to it. So who will they take? Who will they take? I think they'll take the man. I think they'll take Jordan of all of them. Okay. I really believe they'll take Jordan Davis. He's already visited with them. He's become the darling of Atlanta. He threw out the first pitch at the Braves game, home game. Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, Georgia. Jordan, he gets his wish, stays at home, plays in the Georgia Dome, and crushes the middle of the pass pocket against the hated rival teams like, well, the Saints and the Panthers and this the Buccaneers, and you get the idea. Boy, watch out for Jordan Davis, folks. Watch out for Jordan Davis. Now, you would say Jordan Davis is not the most highly ranked Georgia Bulldog. And I would say, actually, that's not true. He is. He is the highest ranked Georgia Bulldog. Now, there's offensive tackles better than him. There's Drake London, wide receiver from SC, is on the board. Nakobe Dean is linebacker. But I really believe that the Georgia Bulldogs standout defensive tackle will become an Atlanta Falcon at that position. So that leaves us with the Seattle Seahawks choice from the Denver Broncos. Now, the Seahawks, by my estimation, really need defense. The reason the Seahawks performed so poorly last year was not enough defensive talent where it matters in the middle. So, let alone on the line. They don't need a linebacker like Kobe Dean. I believe they'll skip him, and they'll go to somebody like well, the question is how far are they going to go down and there, but I think they really need somebody in the middle. But the trouble is that then in terms of the top ones, you've got to go down a bit to get another defensive tackle. So maybe if you're going for best athlete available, and you'd like to get somebody that sets the edge, but on the other hand, you could also say, I just can't see them going away from the line, the Seahawks. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But on the also, there is the tasty chance that since Jameson Williams is sitting right there on the board, the Seahawks say, you know what? This is too good a wide receiver prospect for us to pass up. We have need at wide receiver as well. We can get a DT down the way. So let's get Jameson Williams in here. So where you go? Jameson Williams. Seattle Seahawks. Now we're the New York Jets from Seattle. The Jets have already got Ahmad Gardner at cornerback. I believe here is where they go for wide receiver. Jameson Williams is gone. I think the guy that they want that's still on the board is Drake London. Of course, you would say, wait a minute, why wouldn't? And that's a great point. Drake London should go to the Seahawks. So I'll do this. This is Drake London, wide receiver USC, since he's still on the board. And then we have Jameson Williams out of right there is Ohio. Excuse me 1 second. Bama. There, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Because we still have it's Drake London, and we have Jordan Davis and Nakobe Jean. And I don't see the Seahawks getting him just there. So I think Kobe falls, but not far. All right. There we have Charles Cross, an offensive tackle in terms of the top ones. We have Derek Stingley still available. Okay. So anybody else got a comment out there? No, you guys were just looking. We had Stingley available. So we come to the Washington Commanders, and this is where I believe Stingley goes. Okay. It's Derek Stingley. Stingley. Cornerback. And Mr. Stingley. Cornerback at LSU there. LSU. Yeah, I feel good about that one. Now we come to the Vikings. The Vikings, I believe, nab Charles Cross, offensive tackle out of right here, Michigan State. Boom. Charles Cross. T. Oh, excuse me. Did I say Michigan State? Bad, Zenny. Bad. Not Michigan State. Charles Cross comes from Mississippi State. Excuse me. So, Mississippi. Misspelled Mississippi. I got a guide here, but I might as well just use it, right? Mississippi. Missi. There we go. I spelled it right. Woo! Mississippi State. All right. Got it. Houston Texans. Wow. The Texans already have Kavon Thibodeux, arguably the top 2 defensive ends in the league in the draft. Texans from Cleveland, I believe, will go here. And I think that they will take a look at Nakobe Dean. Here's where Dean makes his mark. Nakobe Dean to the Houston Texans. The Texans come off with a powerful defense. Okay. Sending the message that, you know what? Georgia, that they're building for the Super Bowl. Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. Colby Dean was listed as an inside linebacker there, so there you go, right? Unfortunately, Baltimore Ravens miss out because of the Texans. And that clears out our tops there. So now we're on page 2 officially, I believe. Let me go back, make sure that there's anybody that I missed in terms of the tops. Don't want to have that happen. Gardner, we have Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State. And right now we don't have any. We have Drake London gone. And Garrett Wilson is better. So since Garrett Wilson is ranked higher, why would Drake London go ahead of him, right? So let's put Garrett Wilson say wide receiver there, Ohio State. Okay, so there, and then that makes sense. So since he is there, and I don't see the Ravens going for a wide receiver here, although I do think personally they should. They're really looking at it. Yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, I think at this point, since Wilson is there, they've got Drake London. So Drake London, let's put Drake London. Receiver, USC here. Okay. All right. The Eagles. All right. So that makes more sense. Right? That makes more sense. That makes more sense. The Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles. Is there a sleeper that's going to go up here? Could be. But right now we're going by the board. Okay. We've cleared out everybody on the board here. Except Charles. Well, no, we have Charles Cross taken care of. So we've cleared out the board in terms of the top. It's on the first page. Now we get to Jameson Williams, Trent McDuffie, Ikem Ekwonu, Jaquan Brisser, strong safety, Kenyon Green, Tyler Lindbaum, Chris Olave, Trailer Penning. I think the Saints can get their offensive tackle here too if they want to, among other things. But I don't know that they're going to. All right, but we'll get to the New Orleans in just a tick. Now we're at Philadelphia. Philadelphia, I think, is wide receiver rich. So I don't see them going for a wide receiver here. If there was a top flight tight end, they grab him. But right now, what I see them doing is going for somebody like Trent McDuffie out of Washington, or I really see or Ikem Ekwonu. That's Ikem Ekwonu. Oops. Undo, delete. Okay. Ekwonu. Oops. That damn cursor. There we go. Ikem Ekwonu. OT. And I'm really thinking that, let's take another look at him. Interesting. I really believe that the North Carolina State sophomore is going to be quite a standout. He's a sophomore, man. It's a sophomore. Well, they're young. Okay. NC State. Okay. Reminds me of old Bill Cosby cartoon. What's the NC stand for? No class. Just kidding. The Saints. Now we come to the Saints. Originally, I thought Jordan Davis was going to fall this far. But Jordan Davis is a Falcon. The Saints have a number of needs, but what do I think they're going to do here? You know, I always come back to this gentleman from Ohio State who I really firmly believe is going to be a huge difference maker for them. He's going to be Chris Olave and the next Michael Thomas. And he will join Michael Thomas in New Orleans, catching passes from the more than ready Jameis Winston, and be part of a core of one of the NFL's most interesting and exciting offenses. So now we come to the Chargers of Los Angeles. And I think they're looking, you know what? They're thinking, we gotta cover the Raiders wide receivers, okay? So I believe that here is where they look at somebody like Trent McDuffie, okay? Here's where Trent McDuffie, go back, Washington, earns his wings right here. I mean, you know why they're getting him. All right? You know why they're getting him. And the scouting report says 2020 was a spectacular year, exploded the national. But you know what? This guy's got a 4.2540. All right? He's 6'2". All right? If you want to think of a prospect that has or can have the moniker designated Raiders wide receiver killer, all right, he's got a 4.44 speed. If you want to pick anybody that is a designated Raiders wide receiver killer, it's Trent McDuffie. He's not 6'2", he's only 5'11", I'm sorry. But he's a playmaker. He is a bona fide playmaker. Period. End of story. We did have a great 2021 year. All right. So Trent McDuffie is the guy. Now, Eagles from New Orleans, Philadelphia already got offensive tackle. And I believe here the Eagles will get Kenyon Green from Texas A&M. Kenyon Green. Okay. OT Texas. A and M. All right. Talk about building your offensive line around your quarterback. You've got 2 tackles, bookends, that you can also put at guard. Their offensive line will be, so well improved. Oh, not that it was bad, but when you have the opportunity to get standouts like these, road graders, yes, take them. Kenyon Green, quick for his size, 6'4", 325. 325. All right, moving along. The New Orleans Saints we come back to. Saints have already got their speedster, star wide receiver in Chris Olave. They could sure use Jordan Davis. I don't think he's obviously gone in this one. Okay. So what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Well, they do have a need for safety. They haven't Tyrann Mathieu. They haven't signed. I think they get Jaquan Brisker. Okay, but there is an opportunity. All right, for them to go down and say, you know what, we're going to get Trevor Penning. 6'7", 325. Trevor Penning. Offensive tackle, okay? That just makes so much sense. Northern Iowa. Boy, that will really solidify the Saints on offense. And where it matters, wide receiver and offensive tackle, 2 positions really of need. You need to have that young star to go with a wildly crafty veteran wide receiver. You've got it. You have an offensive tackle to replace your star, who's every bit as athletic, large, effective, younger. That's for the Saints. Now we come to the Pittsburgh Steelers. In fact, I think Trevor Penning will be like Colton Miller. Just maybe it's about an inch shorter. Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, I believe, need defense. They got their Penn State running back last year, Harris. But now they have the opportunity to really, in this draft, improve. And so what I believe they're going to do, Steelers love safeties. They love DBs. They love hitters. And you've got to look at Jaquan Brisker. at this spot, okay? Brisker, excuse me. You got to look at Jaquan Brisker at this spot. Safety from Penn State. Oops. Penn State. Now we come to the New England Patriots. The Pats need a solid player in the middle, really on defense, that can help them define the organization. But they're not going to pick that person here. They're going to get Iowa center Tyler Lindbaum, 6'3", 290. Okay, Tyler Linderbaum, excuse me. Whoops. Tyler Linderbaum, safety out of Iowa. Yeah. Now, they haven't had anybody fall yet. Come to the Packers. The Packers just got Sammy Watkins at wide receiver. So as far as they're concerned, they've essentially replaced Devontae Adams. Sammy Watkins is a huge pickup. That's quite impressive. The Packers from the Raiders here. Who are they looking at? At this place, I really believe that they're going to get Twinkle Toes. Bernhard Raymond, offensive guard. Bernhard Ryman, offensive guard out of Central Michigan. Bernhard Raymond. That's a Bernhard Raymond. Ryman. Ray. Yeah, I got it. I spelled his name correctly. Yeah, I got it. And OG, Central Michigan, who will become an OG. Watch. And now we come to the Cardinals in 23. The Cardinals, take a look at this board. And Cliff Kingsbury will say, well, I need to keep building my defense. But everyone is telling me I should think about the Florida cornerback over there, Kyle Elam. And so you know what? That's what I'm going to do. He's 6'2", runs a 4.39 40. Kyle Elam. Excuse me. Two eyes. Kyle. E. Lamb. Cornerback out of Florida. Okay. Now we come to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys at 24. They're thinking of a move up, but for right now, we're not moving anywhere. So The Cowboys. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Dallas Cowboys at 24. Well, they're not really in a position to go nuts here. And I think everybody here is off the board almost. McDuffie's gone, Williams gone, Ekwonu gone, Brisker, Green, Linderbaum, Olave to the Saints, Penning, also to the Saints, Rainman, Devin Lloyd is available. Elam is gone at corner. So I think that the way this spread is going down, the Cowboys are going to add to the linebacking core. Devin Lloyd. Linebacker out of Utah. Can you imagine that? Pairing him with Micah Parsons? Boy. They are going to have a scary defense. You talk about getting top players for Dan Quinn to work with. Ooh, doggy. Ooh, doggy. Now we come to the Buffalo Bills. Now, I know some of you may want a receiver for the Cowboys and all that, but to replace Amari Cooper, okay? So, but I don't know that right now. Let's go to the second page and see. So I know some of you are thinking receiver because of Cooper, okay? And they've got Trayvon Walker, defensive end, just sitting there. But beyond that, I'll tell you, if I'm going to go for defense, now do I take Walker? No. I'm going to stick right there. Devin Lloyd. Now with the Bills, however, I think the Bills will take Trayvon Walker. DE Georgia. Okay. So Titans are at 26. Let's go back here a bit because we got Walker, Corral, Elam, Lloyd is gone to the Cowboys. Corral's still available. This is where I think our second quarterback goes. And for some particular reason, I keep having Corral go to the Titans. So guess what? QB right here. Excuse me. Ole Miss. All right. The Bucks, 27. Bucks at 27. Let's see where are we. Still got a lot of draft to go, folks. Look at that. Oops. What did I just do here? Gotta stop it here. This is where I'm stopping. So somehow I was accidental. So let's just get rid of that. Okay. We're only doing the first round. All right. So we've got the Bucks, the Packers, the Chiefs twice, the Bengals, and the Detroit Lions. Somehow in reality, I don't think that Chiefs thing is just going to sit there like that. But so they've got some room to maneuver. But right now we're looking at the Bucks. And so these guys are off the board. So I'm looking at for the Bucks, Buccaneers. I am looking at I believe the Buccaneers really need to start building up cornerback area here. But you know what? I don't think they're going to do that. I think they go with Drake Jackson, defensive end out of SC. USC. Packers are next. Having done that, since they go after Jackson, I think the Packers, I cannot resist the temptation on behalf of the Packers to get a cornerback. And so I think that's what they're going to do. And I'm looking at Roger McCreary out of Auburn. McCreary out of cornerback, Auburn. Okay. Now we come to the Chiefs. Okay. And I'm wringing my hands with excitement here. No reactions. The Chiefs. Holy facoli. Here comes that. Here comes that man. Yeah, that man. And I'm talking about Daxon Hill. Daxon Hill. Daxon Hill. Daxon Hill. Free safety. Star out of Michigan. Okay. And all right. Then right behind Hill, I think the Chiefs go for defense again. I really do. I think that they're going to get, so they got Hill, and I think they're going to get Roger McCreary's already gone. I'm sorry. I think they're going to get David Ojabo. Yep. David Ojabo, defensive end. Out of Michigan. Okay. Out of Michigan. That's right. So basically, you get some of the best defenders from Michigan. One after the other. That brings us to the Bengals. Cincinnati. Well, obviously, they're going to skip on a quarterback here. They've had some, I don't know if Arnold Abicte is their kind of defensive end. I think they're more likely to go with Jermaine Johnson II out of Florida State. Yeah, Jermaine Johnson. Two, Florida State. Yep. DE. This leads us to the Detroit Lions. What will the Lions do with the last pick? They could go for another defensive end. Which, if I were them, you know, they've got Aidan, right? So, if I were them, though, I would go for the other side of the ball, Treylon Burks here. Treylon Burks from Arkansas. Trey Burks, receiver, Arkansas. There we go. Treylon Burks. So that rounds it out, folks. Ta-da! Let's review our draft. Let's review our draft. Okay, so let's review what I've done. We have Evan Neal, the offensive tackle from Alabama, going off the board first. Detroit Lions take Aidan Hutchinson, defensive end from Michigan. The Texans take Kavon Thibodeux, defensive end out of Oregon. Some people think that's going to go in reverse. New York Jets take Ahmad, Gardner, quarterback out of Cincinnati. The Giants follow with Kyle Hamilton, safety, Notre Dame. Carolina Panthers follow with Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. New York Giants from Chicago take George Karloftis, defensive end out of Purdue. The Falcons take Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia. Seattle Seahawks take Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State. New York Jets take Jameson Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama. Let me put the wide receiver here. Excuse me. Like that. There. Okay. And let's recap. First of all, at this point, we have a pretty much a pro forma top 10. There aren't any surprises. If anything is a possibility, I could see Malik Willis dropping. Okay. I could also see, and Malik Willis drops, the question is, where does he drop to? There are some who think that he drops to the Falcons. He's not going to New York, the Giants. There's a possibility the Seahawks snap him up. Whatever the case, he is not going to fall as it looks here. It would be surprised if Wills falls out of the top 10. Okay. Jordan Davis is going right about where a number of people, I think he should go. Considering the fact that he's already become the darling of Georgia, it would be weird for the Falcons to pass him up there. Even if Malik Willis became available, the question is, okay, Zennie, how can you say the Falcons would take Malik Willis if Jordan Davis is a darling? And you're right. I think that the Falcons locally would be tarred and feathered if they passed on Jordan Davis from Malik Willis at that place. I'm not saying they won't do it, okay? I think Jordan Davis is the safer pick. I'm not sold on Malik Willis that high. And, some of you might say, well, hey, Zennie, you're really pro-black quarterback. And yes, I am. Absolutely. But Malik is a different cat. And what I mean by that is, okay, Lamar Jackson was not as raw from a competition standpoint. Let's be honest. He went to Louisville. Malik went to Liberty. Okay? And I consider Malik a project. I think he's a guy that needs to sit and learn a year. I'm not saying he can't play. No. He's the kind of guy you design the right offense for, and in that offense, he could really flourish. But I don't see him unless he has the right system being that guy yet. I think he can become that guy. And I think he can become that guy within a year or two of tutelage. Okay? He's got, because there's some things he's going to have to learn. And if he gets caught with the wrong, let me put it this way. If he gets caught with the wrong coach, like let's say he had a Matt Nagy who didn't put in the right set of audible calls for him or the right offense. And so he's suddenly in a situation where ideally he has to change the offensive line blocking because he sees that there is a bear look defense with 4 down linemen, but they are to the weak side, and you have 2 linebackers on the strong side over your tight end, and you are in an ace formation with 2 wide receivers on the weak side, tight end, and then the flanker on the right, okay, with your running back behind you, all right? Or maybe to the left or right of you if it's a shotgun, okay? So in a setup like that, ideally, I would throw short to the tight end on a quick out, but you still have to take care of that blitzing linebacker coming in on that side. Point is, if you don't have that play called, let's say that the play you do have called is not something that I would run, a 5-step drop from that, he'd get killed. You want a quick pass. He's got to know to recognize that and make the proper play change to whatever they predetermine they're going to do. If they haven't predetermined a response, Malik is going to get killed. All right? And he may not know enough to just simply say, okay, well, I've seen this before in school, I'll throw it away. My fear is somebody's going to put him in a position, or my fear is there's a possibility that somebody could put him in early into stupid ball position. Okay? You have a guy like that, you need to put him into a system that allows him to think quick, move quick, and act quick, because that's what he does. I've seen him play. You've seen him play. That's what he does. Okay? So, that's why I'm skeptical about Malik, and I'm happy to be wrong. Now, again, within 2 to 3 years, he will be a star. And I pray he doesn't go to a team that uses him as a gadget. If you're going to pick this guy, you make sure you have a base set of 25 to 30 plays that he can run and memorize that take advantage of what he does best in concert with your offense. And for God's sakes, either trade for or draft or convert a player to become a battering ram running back. Why? Because you don't want to get yourself in these third and short situations where you become in love with Malik hammering his head to get a first down. Because what happens, they'll zero in on him and they'll make his career really short. So you want the fullback to be able to do that work. You want your top flight wide receiver out wide to run your fly patterns to catch from him. You want a set of bootlegs. You want a pass catching halfback that you can throw short to. You want a tight end not shorter than 6'5", ideally 6'6", 240, 6'6", 220, 230, in that range. A little bigger than Darren Waller, maybe just as fast, but somebody you can count on to block when you're running the bootleg for him, and then catch the stick pattern pass, okay? That's what you're thinking about. You want pre-shifts to keep the defense off balance. And the pre-shift should be pre-set in the play so that Malik doesn't have to remember what shift is what. You call the play, the shift is built into the formation. There you go. You would say, well, Zennie, aren't they going to get used to that? Yeah, but there's always that possibility that you're going to line up in a formation, right, and go on sound and no shift. Surprise. Okay. So there you go. Moving along. I like the Jets. Seahawks get Garrett Wilson, Ohio State. Ooh, doggy. Drew Lock to Garrett Wilson might be one of the more exciting new combinations of this NFL season, should this happen. Jets get Jameson Williams, another speedster. The Commanders get a fleet cornerback for their defense. You realize how fast their wide receivers are already? Woo! Woo! The Vikings, Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State. He'll be there for 10 years. The Texans get Nakobe Dean, inside linebacker. And look at what the Texans do in this, okay? They get Thibodeux and Dean, top defenders. The Eagles get Kenyon Green. First they get Ekwonu, offensive tackle from State. The Saints are going to come away with one of the more exciting drafts. Olave will pair with Michael Thomas and make Jameis Winston all-pro, maybe even a Super Bowl champion this year. The Chargers, Trent McDuffie, cornerback, will give the AFC West fits. We got Kenyon Green, offensive tackle, going to the Eagles. Eagles have two tackles. That's cool. The Saints get replacement. They get Trevor Penning, 6'7", monster man, Northern Iowa. Steelers get Jaquan Brisker to join a long list of hard-hitting safeties for the Steelers. The Pats get their anchor, Mr. Linderbaum, out of Iowa. The Packers get Bernard Raymond, Algarda, out of Michigan Central. Kyrie Elam, quarterback Florida, goes to the Arizona Cardinals to give them the NFC West wide receivers hell. Cowboys get Devin Lloyd paired with Micah Parsons. Hey, that's shutdown right there, man. Flyers flying around, tackling, making sacks, stopping backers and quarterbacks in the backfield. Wow. The Bills, Trayvon Walker, defensive end, Georgia. He is going to make the Pats hurt. Tennessee Titans get Matt Corral, who will replace a guy I actually like. I mean, this is nothing against at all the Titans' current starter. At all. Now, I don't think that Matt Corral will replace him this year. He will be behind him. He will learn. So give him 2 years, 2 or 3. Okay? Give him 2 or 3 years. But give him 2 or 3 years. Okay? Two or three. The Bucs get Drake Jackson. defensive end at USC. He could wind up starting this year. The Packs get Roger McCreary, cornerback out of Auburn. Ooh. The Chiefs get 2 Wolverines to improve their defense. Much needed. The Bengals get Jermaine Johnson, who's moving up the draft boards, defensive end of Florida State. And finally, Treylon Burks, wide receiver out of Arkansas, goes to the Lions. Some people think he'd go even earlier than that. Okay. But again, I'm emphasizing right here the Titans and Matt Corral possibly replacing Ryan Tannehill here, okay? Next 2 or 3 years. The word on Tannehill is, hey, you know what? This is a put up or shut up year for him. Well, what better way to push than, right? There you go. So there's the draft, folks. Let me know your thoughts. I haven't seen any comments, just people looking. Whatever. I had fun. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Subscribe to Zennie62 and bookmark OaklandNewsNow.com. And remember, going to the 18th year at the NFL Draft. Woo. Las Vegas. See you, folks.